Swadika, hello and welcome. You're watching ASEAN Challenge with hot topics, headlines and updates happening around your ASEAN bloc in two languages, Thai and English this week. I'm Rosalyn Tepawan.
And I'm Alisa สิทธิวงศ์ขอต้อนรับคุณผู้ชมทุกท่านเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ข่าวสารรอบอาเซียนทั้งภาษาอังกฤษและภาษาไทยค่ะ
And to kickstart the show into our ASEAN Around Us segment, we'd focus on the U.S. and their pivotal role, their growing and warming role in the Philippines after some tension that we observed over the past year.
That's right. So the United States of America, if we look back on history, has had long decades of good friendly relationships with the Philippines. However, recently, right before Donald Trump took office, the relationship kind of slid a little bit into the opposite direction, canceling a few of their military agreements and trainings together. But however, now that Donald Trump has come into power and they've had some talks together, the relationship is seeming to build up again.
A lot of those warming relationships also focus around Trump's policy of non-interference with the Philippine anti-drug campaign that started since mid-last year and continues until today, and so far kind of drawing up a total death toll of thousands of people from the crossfires of this war. But with the U.S. kind of, you could say, turning a blind eye to this, Duterte once again is extending an olive branch to the U.S. and vice versa.
That's right. So Trump and Duterte talked by phone in early December, like you mentioned, that the U.S. leader implying what his counterpart wanted to hear the most, no American interference in the Philippine anti-drug campaign. Now, both of these leaders do have something in common. Both of these leaders do view their country as the priority. Of course, America first for Trump, and Duterte and his anti-drug wars, are basically to make the Philippines better.
Right. It seems Trump once again realizes and recognizes the history between both countries, the history of the Philippines and the United States colonizing the Southeast Asian country for the past 5 decades, you could say, throughout World War II as well. So this kind of old friendship is expected to rekindle under Trump's administration. And one other sign, of course, is always usually involving the military. And one sign of warming relations is the U.S. perhaps potentially pulling out of joint patrols for Chinese vessels outside the Philippine territorial waters. And with that, it seems China will also warm up more as well.
That's right. So as you're mentioning about the military and in terms of friendly aid, in terms of the U.S. military and so forth, initially at first, since Duterte took office last June, he had initially threatened to cancel U.S. military aid after decades of cooperation and after the relationship between the Philippines and the United States had gone in a little bit of a worry. He courted aids and investments with deals with China instead. But however, at the moment now, China and Russia, of course, but at the moment now, as we know that the Philippines and the United States are coming back into friendly terms, we're going to have to see what happens in terms of China and Russia as well.
Right, a lot of focus still on Southeast Asia and still on ASEAN as Trump and his Vice President Pence are also going to come and visit many of the meetings in Southeast Asia. In fact, they have a huge tour coming up toward the end of this year involving the visit to Indonesia, the visit to Vietnam, and of course the ASEAN summit itself in the Philippines.
That's right. However, in terms of friendly relations, of course, there is good signs that the relationship is going to build up. But however, in terms of both countries or both of these leaders having an idea or in terms of putting their own countries first, there has been a little bit of a concern from the Philippines as well, even though they do have really friendly relationships or it's building up. In terms of what Jay Batong-Bakul, director of the Institute for Maritime Affairs and Law of the Sea at University of Philippines has said, he said that if Trump's America first is taken into its logical conclusion, then the U.S. will become much more demanding of the Philippines in the future when it comes to military cooperation to address the South China Sea and terrorist threats. So that is an issue that should also be taken into consideration and we should also stay updated on as well.
Right, with its America first pivot here, which is different from the previous administration with Obama, the pivot toward Asia. We'll have to see what moves Trump and his administration take in this coming year as they not only turn toward America first, but still extend a hand over to Southeast Asia. And once again, what we see now back to the Philippines. And perhaps we can take a look at what happens with job and investment opportunities in the Philippines as well.
That's right. That's because Trump, who aims to save a lot of American jobs, of course, could have an effect in terms of what they offer to the Philippines, in terms of less market for its vast population overseas. So there's a lot of Filipinos in the United States, and there's lots of migrant workers, in which it will give relatively little American investment into, this relationship if the American first concept does come into action.
Right, so it's a very interesting year ahead for not just the Philippines, not just for, of course, the United States, but for all of ASEAN to see what evolves with the new administration. A lot of changes we're seeing all around the world with new powers, new administrations, and new policies, and new foreign diplomacies as well. So it's going to be a very colorful year.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูในส่วนแรกของ ASEAN Challenge ค่ะ ASEAN Around Us เรามาดูความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างสหรัฐอเมริกากับประเทศของอาเซียนของเราหรือว่าฟิลิปปินส์นั่นเองค่ะซึ่งอย่างที่เราทราบกันว่าจริงๆแล้วสหรัฐอเมริกากับประเทศฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยมีความสัมพันธ์ที่อย่างดีมาอย่างยาวนานเป็น10 ปีเลยแต่ว่าในช่วงหลังก่อนที่โดนัลด์ทรัมป์เนี่ยได้กลายเป็นประธานาธิบดีของสหรัฐอเมริกาความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างสหรัฐกับฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยก็ถือว่าได้มีการสั่นคลอนกันเล็กน้อยทางดูเตเต้ก็ได้มีการพูดคุยหรือว่าพูดถึงบารักโอบามาในทางที่ค่อนข้างที่จะรุนแรงพอสมควรแต่คราวนี้ค่ะพอประธานาธิบดีของสหรัฐอเมริกาเปลี่ยนมากลายเป็นโดนัลด์ทรัมป์เสร็จปุ๊บตอนนี้ความสัมพันธ์ก็เหมือนจะดีขึ้น
ค่ะก็เพราะว่าโดนัลด์ทรัมป์นะคะได้บอกว่าจะไม่ยุ่งกับนโยบายของดูเทเต้ที่เกี่ยวกับเรื่องสงครามยาเสพติดนะคะซึ่งดูเทเต้ก็รู้สึกว่าหลังจากที่ได้ยินแบบนี้เป็นสิ่งที่อยากได้ยินมาตลอดไม่เหมือนadministration เก่าซึ่งก็เข้ามาให้ความคิดเห็นที่รุนแรงมากขึ้นเรื่อยๆก็เลยมีการแตกแยกกันแต่ว่าในโครงการหรือว่าในอนาคตเนี่ยค่ะก็นับว่าโดนัลด์ทรัมป์จะมาเยี่ยมอาเซียนตั้ง3 ครั้งเลยนะคะ3 ประเทศไม่ว่าจะเป็นฟิลิปปินส์ในงานอาเซียนซัมมิตหรือว่าประเทศอินโดนีเซียแล้วก็เวียดนามเอเปกด้วย
จริงๆแล้วว่า2ผู้นำเนี่ยมีความคล้ายกันเล็กน้อยนะเพราะว่าทั้ง2ผู้นำเนี่ยมีความคิดที่อยากจะเอาประเทศของตัวเองมาเป็นอันดับหนึ่งอย่างที่เราทราบกันว่าโดนัลด์ทรัมป์เขาก็จะมีนโยบายของเขาว่า American First หรือว่าอเมริกาต้องมาก่อนในส่วนของดูเตเต้เนี่ยก็มีความคิดที่อยากจะทำให้ประเทศตัวเองเนี่ยพัฒนาขึ้นเราต้องโฟกัสที่ประเทศของเราเองเหมือนกันนี่ก็เป็นสิ่งที่เขามีความคล้ายกันอาจจะเป็นสิ่งหนึ่งที่ทำให้ทั้ง2ประเทศเนี่ยปรองดองกันก็ได้หรือว่าในอีกกรณีนึงมันอาจก็เราต้องดูในอนาคตด้วยเพราะว่าถ้าในเมื่ออเมริกาจะเอาประเทศของตัวเองมาก่อนแล้วมันจะทำให้บทบาทหรือหน้าที่หรือความสำคัญของประเทศอื่นเนี่ยลดลงหรือเปล่า
อันนี้เราก็ต้องดูเช่นประเทศจีนนะคะซึ่งก็เป็นมหาอำนาจใหญ่ของโลกเช่นกันที่คอยเฝ้ามองประเทศฟิลิปปินส์มากมายเช่นกันเพราะฉะนั้นการที่อเมริกาเข้ามามากขึ้นก็อาจจะกระทบประเทศจีนอีกแบบหนึ่งเช่นกันเราก็ต้องคอยจับตามองกันนะคะ
ถูกต้องค่ะและนี่ก็คือในส่วนของความสัมพันธ์ของทั้ง2ประเทศณตอนนี้ก็ถือว่าต้องติดตามต่อไปว่าจะเป็นยังไงกันในอนาคตค่ะ
Some food for thought for ASEAN Challenge in the ASEAN Around Us but it's time for a short break right now when we come back more coming up ahead in ASEAN Hot Topics don't go away
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
Welcome back to the show, into ASEAN hot issues. Lots to talk about this week, starting off with things happening between Vietnam and Cambodia. More interconnectivity between ASEAN countries as we see more and more logistics and bridging between countries with highways.
Speaking of bridging, of course, it is actually a bridge or a long highway connecting these two countries from Vietnam and Cambodia, in which they have agreed to build a highway between Phnom Penh and Ho Chi Minh City, in which this occurred at both of the Prime Ministers' meeting on April 25th. This highway is going to be built between Phnom Penh, as mentioned, and Ho Chi Minh City, two of the main cities in both countries, connecting them in order to allow, of course, this is to celebrate their 50th anniversary of the relationships between the two countries, and it will allow people to commute from one place to another with a lot more ease.
Well, what we see talking about connectivity and you could say homogenizing culture in a way. What we see a lot of in Southeast Asia and ASEAN is certain pivotal events happening on important dates. So you mentioned the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between both countries. So it's an important year for Vietnam and Cambodia as well. So this, of course, we'll be seeing more kind of bridging between countries as we go. But this definitely is good news.
That's right. So this highway here, an event what we're taking a look at is the inauguration of a new bridge, as you mentioned, bridging, bridge connecting Cambodia's Kandal province to Vietnam's An Giang province in a bid to boost the two neighbors' trade and cooperation.
Definitely looking forward to the good news and the boosted trade to happen between both countries.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันในส่วนพาร์ท 2 ของ ASEAN Challenge ค่ะ ASEAN Hot Issue ข่าวแรกที่เราจะมาดูกันนะคะก็คือความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างประเทศเวียดนามกับแคนเบเดียหรือว่ากัมพูชานั่นเองซึ่งทั้งสองประเทศในตอนนี้นะคะก็ได้มีการสร้างไฮเวย์ซึ่งสามารถเชื่อมต่อระหว่างทั้งสองประเทศค่ะงานที่เรากำลังเห็นอยู่ในขณะนี้นะคะก็เป็นงานเปิดตัวสะพานเชื่อมเศรษฐกิจกัมพูชากับเวียดนามค่ะซึ่งสะพานนี้นะคะเป็นสะพานคอนกรีตแล้วก็มีความยาวทั้งหมดขออภัยค่ะ 427.44 เมตรมูลค่าในการสร้างทั้งหมด$36 ล้านสหรัฐหรือว่าประมาณ 1,232 ล้านบาทนั่นเอง
ค่ะก็เหตุการณ์นี้หรือว่าการเฉลิมฉลองคราวนี้นะคะก็นับว่าเป็นช่วงเวลาที่สำคัญด้วยนะคะเพราะครบรอบ50 ปีการสถาปนาความสัมพันธ์ทางการทูตระหว่าง2ประเทศเวียดนามกับกัมพูชานั่นเองค่ะเพราะฉะนั้นเป็นการเฉลิมฉลองแล้วก็เป็นวันที่สำคัญนะคะสิริมงคลเลยล่ะค่ะ
โอเคเพราะฉะนั้นใครที่อยากจะไปเที่ยวก็สามารถที่จะไปเที่ยวได้อย่างง่ายดายสำหรับทั้ง2ประเทศนี้นะคะ
ค่ะSo taking a look at some updates now from Vietnam and Cambodia over to the Philippines for some more updates on what's going on surrounding a fire causing a pylon collapse, a bit of a damage and mishap, a tragedy when a drone had captured that moment on camera, which we'll show you in just a little bit, transmitting the tower collapses during a really big fire incident in the Philippines. And right now, the situation had been quite precarious there as the fire caught on, and you could see all of that happening, creating a domino effect of fires all around that busy area in Manila.
That's right. So you can see here, this is the footage that the drone had captured, and it was posted by Chief Gilbert Delot on his Facebook page. So according to this incident, luckily no casualties were involved in the incident, but around 54 families were affected by the power outage.
Right. But excuse me, I said Manila earlier. I meant Muntinlupa in the Philippines. But altogether, that's good news that there have not been many casualties. But at the same time, they're still trying to assess the reason behind that fire problem, that fire incident, just showing you how vulnerable a lot of the electrical kind of disorganization could be and how it's easy to catch fire anywhere.
That's right. It's during the hot season, of course, several ASEAN countries are experiencing very high temperatures, so it is a period in which fires do outbreak quite often.
Right, and perhaps at the moment, the Philippines is trying to, you could say, polish a new system, a drone used by the fire station to assist quicker assessments of fire and perhaps used as an educational tool to help put out fires as well in the future. We're hoping.
That's right. เอาละค่ะมาดูในส่วนข่าวที่2ค่ะในขณะนี้ที่เราเห็นกันในภาพเมื่อสักครู่นี้คือเหตุการณ์ไฟไหม้ค่ะที่เกิดขึ้นในประเทศฟิลิปปินส์นั่นเองซึ่งเกิดเหตุการณ์ไฟไหม้จากเสาไฟฟ้านั่นเองนะคะก่อนที่เสาจะทรุดลงเอียงและภาพที่เราได้เห็นเมื่อสักครู่นี้ค่ะก็เป็นภาพที่ถ่ายจากโดรนนั่นเองโดรนนี้นะคะก็ขึ้นไปถ่ายภาพซึ่งไฟไหม้เนี่ยก็เกิดขึ้นหลายชั่วโมงพอสมควรค่ะแต่ว่าโชคดีนะคะที่ไม่ได้มีการบาดเจ็บหรือว่าเสียชีวิตใดๆจากเหตุการณ์นี้นะคะแต่ว่าเหตุการณ์เนี้ยก็ส่งผลให้เกิดไฟฟ้าดับไปถึง54ครัวเรือนนั่นเอง
ค่ะก็นับว่าเหตุการณ์แบบนี้นะคะก็ได้ขยายไล่เร็วมากนะคะในเมืองของประเทศฟิลิปปินส์นะคะเป็นเมืองที่ชื่อว่ามุนตินลูปานั่นเองค่ะยังไม่ใช่มะนิลาแต่ก็นับว่าเป็นบทเรียนนะคะสำหรับฟิลิปปินส์ให้แอคชั่นเร็วกว่านี้นิดนึง But meanwhile still in the Philippines and this time over to Manila we have lighter news we have some updates about a very important different meeting a colorful and lively concert going on in Manila that happened among Russian sailors, they held a concert as a form of a goodwill in dedication to Manila and the Philippines. And this happened on Sunday the 23rd as part of a 4-day goodwill visit to the country. And as we know, the Philippines is definitely a culture full of music.
That's right. So this clad in navy uniforms and traditional costumes, around 24 sailors sang and danced to traditional Russian music and to popular Philippine songs in front of almost 1,000 Filipinos who of course clapped and cheered after every performance. So very lively event going on, as we can currently see on the screen at the moment now. So dancing and singing in terms of songs and dances from both countries.
Well, you know, this is the second time a concert of this sort has been put on in Manila since January. So it's only been 5 months and already 2 concerts like this. In a way, we can see this as a reflection of Russia trying to extend closer ties and warmth to the Philippines as well. We heard earlier about the U.S. once again reaching out to the Philippines, and now Russia and China as well. So definitely an up-and-coming and hotbed of various relationships.
Now, speaking of relationship, of course, the relationship is expected to develop further next month when Duterte and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin witness the signing of defense agreements in Moscow as well.
Right, so definitely another key pivotal move involving the military as well, and also always significant in ASEAN.
ใช่แล้วค่ะมาดูกันในส่วนข่าวที่น่าจะเป็นข่าวดีมากกว่านะคะยังอยู่ที่ประเทศฟิลิปปินส์กันแต่คราวนี้ค่ะที่ประเทศฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยก็ได้มีการเฉลิมฉลองหรือมีการแสดงจากทหารรัสเซียค่ะที่ได้โชว์การแสดงที่คือถือว่าเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของความพยายามในการสร้างความสัมพันธ์ด้านความมั่นคงใหม่ภายใต้นโยบายต่างประเทศของประธานาธิบดีโรดริโก ดิวเตเต้นั่นเองค่ะก็พยายามสร้างความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างรัสเซียกับฟิลิปปินส์
ค่ะก็นับว่าเป็นการยื่นมือไปอีกประเทศหนึ่งนะคะนอกจากประเทศอเมริกากับประเทศจีนก็มีประเทศรัสเซียด้วยแล้วก็คอยจับตาดูกันนะคะว่าทางฟิลิปปินส์จะออกมาตอบรับยังไงบ้างกับทุกนโยบายของทุกประเทศค่ะ But we have some more updates still in the Philippines this time, focusing on some other issues more southern towards the South China Sea this time. In another visit here, the Philippine Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana has gone to visit an island in the South China Sea, particularly the Titu Island in this area, as a means to show support and, you could say, a lot of not just support but encouragement to the people living there.
That's right. So this visit occurred on April 21st as a part of the government's effort to show support for the people living there, in which Titu is home to 36 Filipino families, originally from Palawan province in the Philippines mainland, whose presence is seen as Manila's claim over the island. So we know that China claims almost the entire South China Sea, where about $5 trillion worth of seaborne goods pass through every year. Also claiming areas in the South China Sea include Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, and Taiwan as well.
Right. In addition to the Philippine Defense Secretary visiting the island, actually President Rodrigo Duterte himself said he plans a visit around June in order to fortify the island with barracks and much more, because in that particular island we have lots of establishments, whether it's a school, various housing units, and very importantly also a plane runway. So this is going to be another pivotal spot in the South China Sea. But also to add to that, Duterte has taken a different approach from his predecessor in terms of China's claims in the South China Sea. He's actually being more accommodating compared to the previous administration. So this should be interesting to see how China, you could say, responds to these visits.
ใช่แล้วค่ะเราไปดูกันในส่วนข่าวที่4ค่ะซึ่งเราก็ยังอยู่ที่ประเทศฟิลิปปินส์กันแต่เรามาดูในส่วนของฟิลิปปินส์กับการพิพาทในทะเลจีนใต้ค่ะซึ่งทางรัฐมนตรีว่าการกระทรวงกลาโหมของทางฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยค่ะและคณะก็ได้เดินทางไปยังเกาะปากอาชานะคะซึ่งเป็นส่วนหนึ่งของหมู่เกาะสเปรดลีพื้นที่พิพาทระหว่างรัฐบาลมะนิลากับจีนนั่นเองค่ะซึ่งการไปในครั้งนี้นะคะก็เป็นไปเพื่อการสำรวจพื้นที่แล้วก็ร่วมพิธีเชิญธงชาติฟิลิปปินส์ขึ้นสู่ยอดเสาด้วยค่ะ
ค่ะก็เป็นเกาะที่เล็กนะคะครอบครัวก็ไม่มีหลายครัวเรือนแต่ว่าในเวลาเดียวกันก็เป็นจุดที่สำคัญมากระหว่างประเทศฟิลิปปินส์กับประเทศจีนเช่นกันเพราะอยู่ใน South China Sea ทีนี้เราก็จับตามองนะคะว่าทางประเทศจีนจะตอบรับยังไงบ้างค่ะ So moving on to some more updates, this time going from the Philippines over to Indonesia. Still, we mentioned how the U.S. President and Vice President will be visiting Indonesia toward the end of the year. But before the visit, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence had come out to talk about what he plans for the upcoming visit, including an important business meeting coming up as well, and what he's going to discuss during the meeting, which includes trade, investment barriers in Indonesia to which the U.S. will end up cutting off, and how they work together or plan to do so to end terrorism.
That's right. He added that Indonesia and the United States had agreed to find ways to reduce barriers to U.S. companies operating in Southeast Asia's largest economy to create a truly level playing field where all our businesses have equal opportunity and market access. So the Trump administration has put Indonesia on a list of 16 countries whose trade surpluses with the United States will be put under review. A series of disputes between Indonesia and American firms have also ruffled ties.
Right. So it seems the U.S. Vice President is quite busy in Indonesia this year, having been there for business meetings and going back there towards November as well. So perhaps following up on these projects to reduce those barriers, as we mentioned, and also create a more truly level playing field, he said in his own words, where businesses have more equal opportunity and market access in one of Asia's biggest growing economies.
Now, not only is he planning to, or the United States planning to have visits at the end of the year with Indonesia and other Southeast Asian countries, but they also concluded his trip. Mike Pence went to Indonesia last Friday, the 21st of April.
Right.
And during the roundtable meeting, the Vice President also witnessed the signing of more than $10 billion in memorandums of understandings or MOUs with U.S. companies in Indonesia.
Right, indeed. So definitely a very upcoming market, attractive market for the U.S. and the West, as always, the Philippines and Indonesia as well. So we'll keep an eye on that and see where else the U.S. visits in their leg trip around Asia and ASEAN.
ใช่แล้วค่ะ มาดูกันในส่วนข่าวสุดท้ายของ ASEAN Hot Issue ค่ะ ความสัมพันธ์ระหว่างสหรัฐกับอินโดนีเซียกันบ้าง ซึ่งทางรองประธานาธิบดีของสหรัฐค่ะ Mike Pence ก็ได้เสร็จสิ้นภารกิจการเยือนกรุงจาการ์ตาประเทศอินโดนีเซียเมื่อวันที่ 21 เมษายนที่ผ่านมานั่นเองค่ะก็ได้มีการเซ็น MOU นะคะมูลค่ากว่าขออภัยค่ะ 10,000 ล้านดอลลาร์สหรัฐหรือว่าประมาณ350,000 ล้านบาทนั่นเองค่ะนอกจากนี้นะคะในช่วงปลายปีทางประเทศสหรัฐอเมริกาก็มีแพลนที่จะเยี่ยมหลายๆประเทศใน Southeast Asia ของเรานั่นเอง
ค่ะบวกกับอาเซียนนะคะก็มีออสเตรเลียเช่นกันค่ะก็นับว่าทางรองประธานาธิบดีไมค์เพนส์ก็ค่อนข้างจะเดินทางบ่อยมากปีนี้นะคะแล้วก็จะคอยจับตาดูว่าจากนั้นก็จะมีที่ไหนต่อไปเรื่อยๆ
ถูกต้องค่ะ
And that wraps up the ASEAN hot topics right now. Let's take a short break. When we come back, more interesting events and you could say colorful highlights on our ASEAN calendar. Stay tuned.
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
Welcome back to the show, into ASEAN calendar this couple weeks ahead. Lots of events to mark your calendars with.
ใช่แล้วค่ะกลับเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge ในช่วงนี้นะคะมีอีเวนท์ที่กำลังจะเกิดขึ้นทั่วอาเซียนไปดูกันเลยค่ะ 24th of April 2017, Isra Mi'raj. The accession to the Prophet Muhammad is a major holiday that is celebrated by over 80% of the total Indonesian population. The ascension of the Prophet Muhammad is also known as Isra Mi'raj. Isra Mi'raj is celebrated on the 27th day of Rajab, the 7th month of the Islamic calendar. This date can vary greatly on the Gregorian calendar. Isra Mi'raj may be celebrated in early spring or late summer. To celebrate the ascension of the Prophet Muhammad, many Indonesians are granted a break from work for an entire day of celebration. Isra Mi'raj celebrations. Isra Mi'raj is a joyous holiday that is celebrated in a modest manner. Many Indonesian Muslims will discuss the story of Isra Mi'raj with their family members while enjoying local sweets and small treats. It is also a common practice for Indonesian Muslims to attend worship services at their local mosques. The Ascension of the Prophet Muhammad, or Isra Mi'raj, is an Indonesian public holiday that allows Muslims to pay their respects to Muhammad and God. Prophet Muhammad's Night Journey. Isra Mi'raj celebrates the Prophet Muhammad's night journey to heaven after he met Gabriel while meditating in a mountain cave near Mecca. In the cave near Mecca, Muhammad agreed to God's demand that he should found Islam and teach the world that there is only one true God. According to the Quran, Muhammad departed the holy Masjid in Mecca to go to the Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. From Masjid al-Aqsa, Gabriel, an angel of God, guided Muhammad through the kingdom of God and the seven heavens. At the gate of the first heaven, Muhammad and Gabriel were greeted by the prophet Adam. According to the Abrahamic religions, Adam is the father of all men. Adam was honored to see that one of his greatest descendants would become the messenger of God. Adam granted Muhammad and Gabriel access to the first heaven. After traveling through the first heaven, Muhammad and Gabriel reached the gate of the second heaven. At this gate, Muhammad met John and Jesus. In Christianity, John is known as the Baptist and Jesus is the Messiah. According to the Quran, John and Jesus are simply servants of God who performed great deeds during their lives. The prophets offered Muhammad words of praise and encouragement. After some brief exchanges, Muhammad and Gabriel were allowed entry into the second heaven. At the gate of the third heaven, Muhammad met Joseph, the father of Jesus. Joseph was impressed by Muhammad's willingness to serve the will of God. Like the others before him, Joseph allowed Muhammad to pass into the third heaven. After traveling through the third heaven, Muhammad and Gabriel reached the fourth gate. At the fourth gate, Muhammad met Idris. According to Muhammad's accounts of the Quran, Idris was an enlightened and highly perceptive prophet. Idris noticed that Muhammad's true intentions were to serve God and found Islam. Idris proudly gave Muhammad permission to enter the fourth heaven. At the fifth gate, Muhammad met Aaron, the brother of Moses. Most Muslims know that meeting a person associated with Moses is a sign of great things to come, so Muhammad was quite excited about meeting Aaron. Aaron happily greeted Moses and welcomed him into the fifth heaven. At the sixth gate, Muhammad met Moses. For Muslims, Moses is a very important figure. Moses foretold the coming of the Prophet Muhammad. Moses was very happy to see that Muhammad had accepted his fate and would carry out his quest from God. Moses allowed Muhammad and Gabriel to pass through the sixth heaven. At the seventh heaven, Muhammad met Abraham, one of the most important figures in Islam. Abraham is a symbol of pure obedience to God. Muhammad stated that he would carry out the quest that God had assigned to him. Upon hearing this, Abraham was very proud. Shortly after this, Abraham began crying. Abraham explained that he was crying because he was happy that Muhammad would convert many people to Islam. Abraham happily granted Muhammad and Gabriel entry into the seventh heaven. This highest level of heaven was filled with fruit-bearing trees, serene rivers, and various other bringers of joy. After gazing at the many wonders that surrounded him, Muhammad traveled across the seventh heaven to ascend to paradise. In paradise, the wonders of heaven increase in both quantity and scale. Muhammad eventually reached the throne of God. At the throne of God, God formally ordered Muhammad to found Islam. God also stated that Muslims must pray 5 times per day. God promised that Muslims who are obedient will be rewarded with the wonders of paradise. Muhammad returned to earth to carry out his mission and found Islam. of April 2017, the National Reunification Day. In the history of Vietnam, April 30th, 1975 is a day that marks the fall of Saigon government, ending the Vietnam War and leading to the liberation of Vietnam's southern part. Reunification Day. Every year since, the country celebrates this day as a commemoration to the reunification between the Democratic Republic of Vietnam in the north and the Republic of Vietnam in the south into the Socialist Republic of Vietnam as we know today. Before the special event actually comes, competitions related to the origin of meanings of Reunification Day are held to draw public attention. Over a week prior to April 30th, streets in big cities like Hanoi, Hue, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City are eye-catching, decorated with colorful banners, flags, and neon lights. Also, celebrated areas are prepared. It could be a place for parade or the stage for a national live show. When Reunification Day is on, major cities are at its quietest as people return to their homeland to enjoy the day with their beloved family. In front of residents' houses, there are Vietnam's national flags proudly waving in the air. On television, related memorial programs or music shows performing victorious songs about the Vietnam War are broadcasted. Especially in Ho Chi Minh City, in the beginning of the day, there are lines of parades coloring up the main streets, with the participation of lots of people. However, you must be an early bird to witness or be a part in this activity. Time, April 30th. Purpose, celebrate the reunification between two parts of Vietnam. (2017) May 1st, International Workers' Day. May Day is celebrated by millions around the world as International Workers' Day, a national public holiday in many countries. It has come to be known as the original Labor Day and honors both the contributions of workers and the achievements of the labor movement. The origins of May Day are bloody. On May 1, 1886, workers in Chicago went on strike en masse, demanding an 8-hour workday. In the plans for 2 years, workers were ready to march. Up to 80,000 joined a parade up Michigan Avenue, arm in arm, carrying union banners demanding shorter hours of work, higher pay, and an end to child labor. A May 4th demonstration turned violent when a bomb exploded in the ranks of police on hand to disperse the crowd. Police opened fire on the crowd and in their panic many shot their own men. 67 policemen were wounded and 7 died, though only 1 as a result of the bomb blast. 4 workers died that night and many more were injured. Martial law was declared and labor leaders were rounded up and jailed across the U.S. In Chicago, 4 labor activists were tried and hanged for their roles in the Haymarket affair. 3 more were pardoned shortly after, and the unjust judicial process was condemned by the governor. Today, May Day is celebrated as Labor Day in almost every industrial nation. During the 1990s, the Chinese government even created a week-long holiday to honor its workers, though the holiday was restored to 1 day in 2008. Despite its American origins, Labor Day is not observed on May 1st in the United States. Concerned by the political threat of a holiday conceived by socialists and anarchists, Grover Cleveland pronounced the first Monday of September as the official Labor Day in 1894. During the Red Scar years of the 1950s, Eisenhower went further and declared May 1st Loyalty Day in America. In Canada, a September Labor Day was also declared a holiday by Prime Minister John Thompson in 1894. Bowing to pressure from the working class, Canadian labor organizations do honor the day, however, and we wish you a very happy International Workers' Day on May 1st, 2017.
And those were our colorful events for ASEAN calendar this coming week. With that, we take a short break. Coming up next, ASEAN interview. Stay tuned.
พักกันสักครู่ค่ะ
back. Up next in ASEAN interview, we revisit a former guest from Bhutan, Kun Pema, who talks to another special guest this segment in ASEAN interview.
ใช่แล้วค่ะกลับเข้าสู่รายการ ASEAN Challenge และในช่วงนี้ค่ะ ASEAN Interview เราจะไปดูกันเมื่อสัปดาห์ก่อนๆคุณเพมม่าได้เป็นแขกรับเชิญในรายการของเราในช่วงของ ASEAN Interview วันนี้นะคะเธอจะเป็นพิธีกรเองเพื่อไปสัมภาษณ์เด็กนักศึกษานานาชาติจากวิทยาลัยนานาชาติของมหาวิทยาลัยรังสิตค่ะเราไปชมกัน
Good afternoon and Sawadika. This is your host Pema for today's show ASEAN Challenge, and for today we have a very special guest all the way from South Africa who are studying here in Rangsit University. They are here to share about their experience learning here in Thailand, and they are going to express their opinion about the country. So if may I take the honor of introducing the guests. We have three of them, Francie, Angelina and Marzuk. Could you please kindly introduce yourself, where you are from, and how long have you been here, and what program you are taking?
Thank you so much for inviting me to this program. My name is Francesca Maikepe, but you can just call me Francie. That's Francy. I'm coming from Lesotho. My country is a very small country inside South Africa. That's where I'm coming from, and I came here 2015. So I have like 2 years now.
Okay, so you have been here for 2 years.
Yeah.
And would you please introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you very much, Sabadika. Thank you again for inviting me in this program.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, my name is Angelina Bwana. I'm from Tanzania. And I'm here since last year in August, and I'm taking Master of Art in Diplomacy and International Study. I'm expecting to finish my study next year.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you again for your invitation. This is Marzuk from Tanzania. I'm here for study Master in Art, Diplomacy and International Studies. We're supposed to be here for 2 years, and we are in pipeline for completion of 1 year. Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome to the show. And so it's all of you have been here for almost 2 years, Francie, and 1.5 year, Angelina and Marzuk. So during your stay here in Thailand, how do you define your stay out here in a country so away from your homeland? And also, why did you choose Thailand for your study?
Thank you, Pema, for that question. I came here in Thailand. Actually, there was an offer of scholarship. That's how I got to come here in Thailand. Okay. But then my life here in Thailand, I must admit, I'm enjoying every minute of it because I get to interact with lots of Thais, different nations, some of them from neighboring countries like Myanmar, Laos. So I'm really enjoying my stay here.
Okay, good to hear that. And this week, as you all know, it has been a week of Songkran. So how did you all participate in the Songkran festival? Like, how did you all enjoy? How was your experience in the festival that everyone's, it's a quite happening festival here in Thailand? If you could share.
Thank you for the question. Actually, the Songkran went so well. We enjoyed a lot, and it was my first experience to participate in Songkran. So we just play a lot of water, and it was fun actually. We did it with my classmates, and at last we have our dinner for Songkran. We just invited our professors, and we did it at Landmark Hotel in Bangkok. So it was quite so funny and very enjoyable to my part. I can say it is really appreciate for that.
Okay, so glad to hear you are having a good experience in Thailand. And how do you staying here in Thailand for almost everyone has stayed here in Thailand more than a year, so for you it's 2 years. So I want to if you could please kindly explain what are the learning you're learning from Thailand that is different from your country.
Yeah, thank you very much for your question, my sister Pima. First of all, we're supposed to be here for study, and actually we miss our relative, we miss our family, we miss our friends. But we're supposed to know that we are here for study, and we experience so many things,
Okay.
especially in terms of academic, because we are here to study about diplomat, and others like me, I'm from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So when I was searching where to get good knowledge, which is familiar according to my career, I started to come here, Thailand, because of good historical background of diplomat. Thailand has a good performance in terms of governance, in terms of administrations. So we learn a lot from our agents. We learn a lot from our professors. Thank you very much.
Okay. As you mentioned, Thailand has been like strong historically, very strong in terms of diplomacy and in terms of diplomats' record. So, and also Thailand is well known for the One Vision, One Community ASEAN group. So, as an international observer, how do you find in your eyes this community, like ASEAN community, as one as a community that comes together as one vision and one community? So, how do you feel this is in your eyes as an international observer, something to learn from there? How do you like see this community?
To me, I'll talk about Thailand. And to me, Thailand, I think Thailand could be an ASEAN hub for this region, because really it has got lot of like tourism. Yeah. So it could be a great ASEAN hub. Thank you.
Okay. Thailand is also the country that that gave birth to the whole idea of ASEAN community. So good to know your comment. And now, if I go with another question, so
I want to add something about that question.
Okay, sure.
When we talk about the Asian countries, maybe in our eyes, to say maybe is a one, but for me, I can say that it's one but not one, especially when you talk about international policy or no international politics. Okay, it's quite different when you look about maybe North Korea. Okay, North Korea, they base about the military. But when you talk about China, they base about business. They consider about how can they prove about business, about finance, something about that. But when you talk about Thailand is a very good for culture, because everybody talk about the Thai food. Everybody talk about the Thai box is a very popular. So you can see is a one but not one. Every country has something very, very, very how can I say, unique. Okay. Very, very unique. When you talk about the North America, everybody know around the world. North America always they think about the military power. Okay, so something like this. Thank you very much.
Okay, speaking about the Thai culture and Thai food, have you all tried any of the Thai food? I'm pretty sure you guys might have tried Thai food. How do you find it? Is it same like your country or is it like different? Do you enjoy?
I'm enjoying Thai food, and once when I came here, I was once got an invite to attend a show on Thai food. Yeah, and then I tried quite a lot of dishes there. One of those that I do remember quite well is there's the salad is so spicy and tom yum kum, something like that.
Okay.
So yeah. The food here is quite different from my home country, because I find this the food here rather spicy, too hot. But yeah, we do have spicy food back home, but not that much. But I'm enjoying the food.
Okay, good to know.
Adding some points on my sister's side, I can say I really enjoy Thai food, but not much since I'm not taking spicy.
Okay.
But I can say I'm enjoying much on fruits.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
nice.
because
That's
there are
nice.
so many fruits
Yeah.
compared to my country.
Okay, so that's nice.
Also myself, I want to add something about the Thai culture, especially for food. This is my first time to drink cold coffee. It is my first time to
Okay.
drink cold coffee, to drink cold tea.
Okay.
So for the first days, how these people they drink cold coffee? How these people they drink cold?
It was quite difficult for
it's
you
quite
to
different because
culturally shock. Yeah.
because always I know that when you want to drink coffee, it's supposed to be hot. When I want to drink tea is supposed to be hot, but in Thai it's quite different. People
Okay.
they eat coffee, and include the coffee there is ice. This
Yeah.
is my first time, so I enjoy a lot.
Okay, good to know. It's because of the climatic condition, like it's quite hot out here in Thailand, so you guys are like experiencing new food, new culture, so good to know you people are really enjoying here out here in Thailand.
But
And
but
also
in terms of hot, even Tanzania also is too hot, like Thailand.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
So like in terms of weather, you didn't have problem in adjusting in Thailand. Yeah. Good to hear about your experiences, and good to hear about how you all are coping up here in Thailand. And now if I go on with my another question, how do you find Thailand is one of the it's in Asia, and South Africa is quite far away. So how do you find the difference in the culture? Like, are there any relevant cultural difference?
Oh. Yeah. I must say there are a lot of differences, but here and there are some similarities. Like when we were mourning for the late king, my condolences to the Thais. The way that the whole nation was in mourning, to some extent reminded me of the way we mourn for great people like the late king.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Anything to add on? Okay.
I want to add something also about the difference and the similarity about Thai. I'm agree with my sister here. Something is similar, but something is a very different. Okay. Once I have been here in Thailand, I never I find a temple. In Tanzania, it's very difficult to find a temple.
Okay.
But here also, I know what is temple, and I go to temple, something like this. It's a very different.
Okay. So, okay. Anything? Okay. Thank you so much for coming to today's show, and good to know that all the way you have traveled from South Africa to Thailand, and then good to hear that you all are having a good experience out here, and hopefully you all will like apply what you learned here back in your country. So I hope you will have a good stay out here in Thailand, and wish you all the best for your future endeavor. And if there's anything that you guys want to suggest or say to the prospective students and people planning to visit Thailand, if there's anything you guys want to express, maybe I'll give one last chance of to express that.
I would highly recommend Thailand for anyone who wants to study, because the people here are very friendly, warm, welcoming. The weather is very hot. You'll struggle at first, but then you'll just adjust and then adopt into the culture. Yeah, so Thailand is a place to study.
Okay.
On winding on the point, maybe I can add something. Since Thailand has become the hub for tourists, especially from western parts, I think for them learning English, it will be the better things for them. So I just advise the government of Thailand to just put more effort on that, since it is like a hub for tourists, especially in Asian countries. So learning English, promoting English language in their culture and schools, it will be helping them for.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Myself, I appreciate Thai, and I will suggest my friends to come here to study because everything is good in terms of life, in terms of food. Everything is good for myself. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was the students from South Africa who are studying here in Thailand, and then this is the end of the ASEAN challenge for today. But meet you next week with some more guests with more interesting things to share on Thailand and their experience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for that interview, and that wraps up ASEAN Challenge this week. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you again very soon next week. For now, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ